Now, let's get to who we have on the panel. And I'm guessing what I see is different than what you guys see. So I'm just going to go how I see it. And if you guys want to just give an introduction about who you are, what you're doing in the drone space, maybe how long you've been in the game, just so everyone can get an idea of who you are. I think also this is big in, building out our networks, knowing who knows what about what topics and who they could reach out to. I'm sure that everyone here on the panel is willing to have people reach out to them for whatever suits their expertise. And so I encourage you to do that. But on my screen, I have Chris Ihorn. You are first up to do a quick intro, if you would.
Great. Thanks, Randall. Thanks for hosting this as well. Yeah, so Chris Ihorn, founder and CEO of DroneSense. I started DroneSense back in 2015. So if anybody remembers the old 3D robotics days, those were kind of the end of that cycle. So yeah, so we build a software platform. We're laser focused on the needs of public safety. So whether it's flying the drone, managing your back end, live streaming, or even drone as first responder, we've built a platform that really abstracts away the hardware differences and allows us to be drone agnostic. So I'm excited to be here.
Perfect. Thanks, Chris. And next we have Brandon Carr from LIDA, replacing John with, I would say, the bar set high, but I trust he got a good replacement in, and this was last minute. So Brandon, thanks for filling in.
I appreciate it, Randall. Thanks so much. Yeah, my name is Brandon Carr. I'm the Public Relations Officer and Board Member for Law Enforcement Drone Association, or LIDA. I started the Pearland Police Department's drone program, built it into the program that it is today. Now I work for DroneSense actually as the drone first responder solutions engineer and also co-founder for Unmanned Tactical Group.
Perfect. Thanks, Brandon. Charles, you're up next.
Hi, I'm Charles Warner, the retired fire chief from Charlottesville, Virginia, and I started in drones in 2015 as I was ending my career as a fire chief. I was always involved in technology. Saw drones as what I saw as the next big thing for public safety. Started the National Council on Public Safety UAS and did that for a couple of years, and that was a community of like minds, but it wasn't a body that we could partner with. So in 2019, we started Drone Responders, which is the Drone Responders Public Safety Alliance, which is now the leading and largest nonprofit public safety organization in the world with over 7,400 members and participation from 87 countries.
Amazing. Thanks for being here, Charles. Tim, you're next.
All right, good afternoon. My name is Tim Martin. I just recently retired after 28 years in law enforcement, started the drone program in Huntington Beach from the ground up. I'm currently the director of training for the Regional Training Center here in California. I do subcontract work in the Blue UAS space for Blue UAS company. It's been great exposure for me. Different platforms. I've been involved in the trials for the soldier-borne system and the SROC program in the Blue space.
Perfect. Thanks, Tim. Brett, you're up next.
Thanks, Randall. My name is Brett Conda. I'm coming up on year number 10 in the drone industry. I spent the first 4 years on entrepreneurial ventures, mostly as a service provider, and then spent about 2.5 years working for the FAA UAS Integration Office, running the Nevada test site. So mostly focused on UTM and large system testing. And then joined Randall over at FLIR for about 2.5 years, and we were managing the global industrial UAS business over at FLIR. And I've spent the last bit here as the first employee over at Brink, focused on law enforcement and indoor tactical operations, and going to be announcing my next venture here very shortly, but excited to be here.
Thanks, Brett, as always. We got Rich. You're up next.
Thanks, Randall. Rich Katanis, Southern Manatee Fire Rescue, part of the hazmat team there, technician for 20 years now. We started a UAS hazmat team back in about 2015. Gained some notoriety with some of the outlandish things that we were doing with our hazmat team in drone tech. Also working with Charles as the Flow Group, one of the leadership members of the Flow Group team here in Florida UAS Coordination Group. Currently about 300 plus members of our team that we started about 2 years ago when this legislation started that changed our state, and which we'll probably talk about quite a bit today. So should be some pretty interesting conversations, and I feel like I'm in a room full of giants here, so I'm happy to be a part of this. I've always loved this podcast, so thanks, Randall, for inviting me.
Appreciate you being here, Rich. All right, next we have Trent from DIU. You're muted, Trent. Happens to the best
Thanks,
of us.
man. Yeah, good way to start. My name's Trent Emenecker. I was an active duty Marine, which is where my first interaction with drones at the tactical level came from a long time ago. Since then, I've been in the reserves and have remained aware of the tactical evolution of what we have or don't have. After leaving active duty, I worked for GE Aviation. After that, I came to the Defense Innovation Unit a couple years ago. 6 weeks ago, I came to Blue UAS and replaced David Michelson, who a lot of you may have worked with, and before that, Shelby Oaks. Happy to be here.
Thanks, Trent. Michael, you're up next.
Great. Thanks, Randall. Appreciate the opportunity to be here. Hello, everyone. Michael Robbins. I'm the Chief Advocacy Officer for 𝐉𝐈𝐍, the Association for Uncrewed Vehicle Systems International. I came to 𝐉𝐈𝐍 in a full-time capacity in June of 2020. Before that, 𝐉𝐈𝐍 was one of my clients. I was a multi-client consultant. Before co-founding that consulting firm, I was at the Airline Pilots Association doing aviation work on the traditional aviation side. And before that, spent a decade on Capitol Hill, where I was the chief of staff to the late John Dingell from Michigan, also a reservist in the United States Navy.
Perfect. Thanks for being here, Michael. Bobby, you round us out.
Man, I'm the presence of giants. Really honored to be here. Thanks again for putting this together. Bobby 𝐃𝐒𝐋𝐑𝐏. Just launched UAS Nexus about a month or two ago. Been consulting the industry for about a decade. Worked on the counter UAS side for a company called 𝐕𝐈𝐃𝐿 Defense Technologies, still around. Worked for you at Autel, Randall. And then worked for Ascent Aerosystems, running their product and like their Blue UAS stuff the last year. Really honored to be here. Thanks for being part of the conversation.
Yeah. Well, I think that the feeling probably is across the board as far as like being around people that we all respect. We hear their names pop up or their organizations they represent come up. And so, you know, having a room full of people that are doing so much for representing their communities, representing drone technology, and representing, you know, public safety use largely across the board. I think that everyone out there should understand why this panel is suited to have this conversation. I think that another nice thing is that if Bobby is distracted, we'll know because we could see the reflection of your computer in your glasses. So we'll make sure that you're keeping your eyes on. No, don't take them off, bro. It was a joke. But anyways, last thing I'll just say, I'm Randall Warnas. I've been in the industry 9 years. Spent a good portion of that time at DJI, FLIR. 9 beautiful weeks at Autel as their CEO. And been a DSLRPros part of back in the reseller space. And it's been interesting for me to jump around from representing manufacturers to being able to represent multiple manufacturers and being a little bit removed, a step removed from these kind of conversations. So I think that I'm somewhat neutral. I've worked closely with Brett. I've worked closely with Bobby in the past. Chris and I spent some time overseas together. And then obviously going to trade shows. Make sure Denver Exponential next week. Make sure to say hello. I would assume a good portion of us will be there.